Namaste and Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Self-Realization Series. Power of SwaDharma. Inner peace to global peace and harmony. Pranam to Guruji, Hariharji Maharaj and Bhagwan Krishna Ji for their blessings and bringing us together this morning. And thank you to all of you for joining. I'm Satya, Klara, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. And whatever you see on this page, it's a guidance from Guruji and his blessings, his Adesh. All the bestsellers on Amazon and CDs, etc. And all our programs are posted at YouTube channel under Satya Klara. We have over 600 videos and every program and meditation have been posted. So you are welcome to share with others and also watch yourself. SwaDharma, my dharma, self-dharma, for creating the inner peace to global peace and harmony, and vice versa. Because if we have an inner peace, we can do SwaDharma, and if we can do SwaDharma, we can create inner peace. So it has been inspiration for duty, peace, and harmony. And this subject has been brought by Kurukshetra University, and this presentation will be given over there on 24th of November. The contents are based on self-realization, self-transformation, and self-realization based on our AAA philosophy: awareness, action for correction, and self-inquiry. So what and why SwaDharma? What are the problems, barriers to do our dharma? Solutions. Gita is a SwaDharma. World-renowned, timeless wisdom, which talks about SwaDharma. And our action plan, benefits, and daily spiritual planner. And our sankalpa is, I'm a peace ambassador and I follow my dharma. So why this subject has been chosen? Because the problem of inner peace, no inner peace, and there is, as we can relate to it, no inner peace, no global peace, and no harmony. Many places are okay, but there are a lot of disconnects from one's inner calling. Our own body, mind, and soul is not connected. So we have physical problems, emotional issues, and we feel disheartened. Anxiety, stress, restlessness, loss of inner values, detached from themselves and others. Imbalance in all areas of life. And individually, self-doubts, burnouts, and lack of direction, which we see it nowadays. So much confusion is going on within the families, conflicts, misunderstandings, and harmony could be improved. And we all could relate to it. How the job situation is in the world, and with AI and confusion and the divorces and disharmonies, and then nationally, so much politics is going on, and erosion of collective responsibilities, too much selfishness, and then globally, wars, ecological destructions. And so our inner disharmony reflects in the world, in the climates, in the political tensions. And when people forget their SwaDharma, the society drifts away from truth and peace. The outer chaos we see today, the wars are still going on, fears are there, so much confusion. So solution, the timeless wisdom, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The question comes, then is it possible to live in today's world in peace and joy, free from the miseries of life, anxiety, stress, fear, and frustration? And answer is yes. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. As Gita says, Geet, divine Geet, divine song, which blessed us with that possibility, because the Gita is a boat that takes us from miseries to pains to eternal happiness. And we experience happy, healthy, peaceful life, and not only peaceful life, but beyond that, where you can see it here, all these miseries, and it takes us to Anandam, from Vishad to Prasad. Where you can see it, how the Gita goes from one shore where there's a lot of turmoil going on this side, and then it continues on the bank of Anandam. So the solution, the Gita is a boat that takes us to liberation and path to Anandam. So Gita guides us and keeps us on this path. So let's embark on this journey, because Swamiji said, Hariharji Maharaj said, that Gita is an answer to all those seeking enlightenment in the various problems of life. So Bhagavad Gita, which is known as Yoga Shastra, because as you can see on the end of every chapter, Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, Yoga Shastra, with 700 verses, 24,447 words, 18 chapters, mainly divided into 3 yogas. Although every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is yoga, Vishad yoga, Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga. And yoga means union, bringing us, uniting us within and without with the supreme power. So Karma Yoga, chapter 1 to 6, Bhakti Yoga, 7 to 12, and Jnana Yoga, after doing Bhakti with Karma Yoga with love and compassion, the inner Jagrati, awakening comes. That who am I? That ultimate wisdom comes. So, but it's not that we can just practice one. We have to practice all 3. In other words, if we want to do something, we have to put the action, and action with love and compassion. And also we have to have a wisdom. So I put this onion. So basically Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, peels us all the confusions one by one like an onion. And each layer takes us closer and closer to that essence, that sweetness of inner being. So with 74 verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 7 out of 700, 564 verses from Lord Krishna, and rest of them from Arjuna. 1 was from Dhritarashtra. 41 were actually from Arjuna, and also from Sanjay. So continuously speaking on the solution. Hariharji Maharaj give us many quotations, many he talks in it. So I just combine his quotations. And it says, Gita is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual for operating our lives righteously. It teaches us how to transform every action, every karma into divine selfless action, which is called dharma. So karma to dharma. And then fulfill our responsibilities. My responsibilities means SwaDharma. What is my dharma? So, and then attain eternal abundance, happiness, peace, and experience my true nature, Satchit Anand. So Gita is all about you and me, not just for Arjun, because we go through the similar situations in our life. I would say from morning to evening, at least I experience myself with many situations. So Bhagavad Gita and path of SwaDharma. So it teaches us codes of ethics, do's and don'ts, and how to remove pains and miseries through SwaDharma and liberate us from pains and miseries, and ultimately guide us the purpose of our life. Why are we here? Why did God bother us to send us on this earth? To experience my true being, that I am true peace, Ananda, not the bucket of miseries and pains. So when Arjuna got into situation where he was facing a lot of confusion in the battlefield, and he became very nervous after looking at the army on both sides, his near and dear ones. He got very disheartened, very confused, fearful, because his family members were there. So he was attached to them and got very worried that they might be killed by me. It means I'm going to incur sin and lose my dear ones. So he tells Lord Krishna, his dear friend, that I cannot fight this war. Na jyotasyati Govinda. And ask for advice that what should I do at this point? Because basically he was a hero who had won many wars before, but now he becomes zero. He couldn't even stand up anymore. And he asked for advice very humbly. And he surrenders and he says, Karpanye dosho pahat subhava, prashyami tvam dharma sammurcheta, yachse syani nishchitam bruhi tanme, shishya se ham shadi mam tvam prapanya. My heart is overpowered by weakness and pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, dharma, what to do, what not to do. I'm requesting you, please tell me, at this time of difficulty, confused time, what should I do? I surrender to you. Please guide me. The one thing we have to notice here, he noticed that he could not embark and participate in this war. So he accepted that. And then he asked for advice. And not only that he asked, he listened. He followed the advice. And that advice took him where he says, Nashto moha smriti lapta tvat prasadan maya yog. And then he says, Swadhyaya Abhyasnam also. Karshe Vachanam. So I will do as you suggest. So what was that advice? So for particular this subject and this for karma and dharma, Bhagwan Ji says, Tasma Sattam Karya Karma Samachar. Therefore, perform your prescribed duty constantly without attachment. For by performing work without attachment, one attains the supreme. So he's telling him that once you perform, you will reach, you will connect within yourself. But Paramatma, Paramatma, you will reach to Paramatma. But it has to be asakto. In other words, without detachment, without attachment, with detachment. So basically, Bhagwan Ji is telling Arjun that follow your duty without attachment, result of actions, and work selflessly. And by doing this, offer everything to Supreme Power, and then your heart will be pure. And your inner being will speak to you. You will realize who you are. So not only that, during this process, your body, mind, and soul will be harmonized, will be connected. They will all be together. Soul will be guiding the body and mind. And your thoughts will have the purpose, not the worries and fear, but the purpose. So you will cultivate peace and spread the harmony all around you. So more going into this, what is dharma and swadharma? What is the difference between dharma and swadharma? So dharma is the prescribed duty, our kartavya, which is performed righteously. Dharma, as in Bhagavad Gita, it starts, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. So it starts with dharma, and at the end, it says, Vam, Mera Dharma. So what is my dharma? What is swadharma? So swadharma is my sacred duty. Dharma could be for anybody. But again, it is kartavya, it is our own responsibility, prescribed responsibility, not the religion which is sometimes mistaken. And it says that your Bhagavad Gita teaches dharma, fight. And there are many dharmas, and there are so many paths, but actually dharma is not the path. Dharma here is your own prescribed duty, kartavya. What I am made for. Why God has assigned me this assignment. Just like, fire has his own dharma, heat. Water has his own dharma. Everyone has their own dharma. We all have our different responsibilities. So that's our swadharma. As long as it is performed for the benefit of all. Sarva bhuti terata. And Bhagwan Ji again explains why. Because following the other people's path or dharma is better, though, even though it would be difficult. Sometimes we get into certain responsibilities which are very difficult to perform, but we must perform that. And that's where Bhagwan Ji is assuring us, Shriyan Sarva Dharma Viguna. Better is one's own self-dharma, duty, though performed imperfectly, than the duty of other performed well. So, per dharma, other people's dharma could give us a lot of stress, and I can relate to it, that the aptitude we have, the nature we have, we are made with certain aptitude, with gunas. And if introverted person is put for networking job, for sales job, business development job, he will have very difficulty because he does not like to speak to people and he does not like to speak to begin with. He's very introverted. At the same time, if the extroverted person is put into accountant job, they get very confined. And I had experience with that we had put one person who was so networking, so bubbly and extroverted, but he was not good on his accounting. So finally we had moved to him another job. So because by doing the job which we are not made to, it creates a lot of stress. And that's where it says, better is death in the discharge of one's own duty. The duty of other is fraught with fears and stress. So we might have to want to look into it anytime we develop stress. Is this job made for me or not? But SwaDharma, connected with my nature, my gunas, brings calmness, clarity, fulfillment, peace, and purpose. It is a foundation of dharmic living values and gateway to inner peace and inner peace to global peace and harmony. So why can't we perform our dharma? In other words, end up incurring or doing some adharma means not following the guidelines according to scriptures, because dharma is always followed with the codes of ethics and with values of shastras, guidance of shastras. And here, why? Because we are overtaken by Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ankar, jealousy, resentment, which is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato Vishyan Punsa, Sangasteshu Upjayate, Sanga Sanjayate Kama, Kama Krodho Vijayate. Too many desires lead to the anger or greed. If we attain those desires, it turns into greed and arrogancy. But if we don't attain it, then it turns into jealousy, hatred, resentments. Bottom line here is, dharma leads us to become very selfish because we are living in ignorance and then creating a lot of stress. And we are disconnected with ourself, with our inner voice, with supreme power. And then it creates a dharma, it creates a sick mind, sick body, sick society. And then disturbance in world. Dhritarashtra, he was so jealous because he was blind and he was become a king because he was blind. But not by his credentials, but he was the only left in the family. So he was, by default, he became king. And he always resented that. And that same jealousy was transferred to his son, Duryodhana. And of course, he was filled with ego and jealousy and attachment and resulted into Mahabharat war. Ashanti. And we could relate to nowadays, we have the very selfish leaders causing so much damage in the universe. But in summary, see, here too many worldly desires, anger, attachment, greed, stress. And then what happens? Diseases, one of the major disease comes is loss of memory, because anger, lot of cortisol in the body, and it blocks the neurons in the body and memory is lost. Confusion is created and could not sleep at night properly. So how to develop, how to go on the path of doing our dharma, SwaDharma? And Bhagwanji, after giving that advice to Arjun that do the SwaDharma, he tells him also that you should be aware of it and able to differentiate what is dharma, adharma, and akarma. So he says the karma, we must know the difference. We must know what is the righteous action. Karma is like we are doing all the time. It could be selfish, it could be it's just a karma. And any karma which we do it for this physical world is binding karma. That's why it is called karma. But a karma, A means no, not binding, which will do it for sarva bhutite rata, not for the selfish reasons, but for the bringing the peace, abundance in the world, for the harmony. And this subject has been chosen by Kurukshetra because they are taking the example of Modi ji, how Modi ji is selfless, karma yogi. That's why he's karma yogi, because all of his actions are based on the global peace and harmony. And then leading to the eternal peace. And then the vikarma, the work we should not do, forbidden action like terrorism, killing others, jihad, name of dharma, that is all called vikarma. So before taking any action, we must ask ourselves, develop that awareness that why am I doing it? Is this for my benefit or for others or for all? Am I doing it for name and fame? Will this increase my ego, attachment, greed, selfish desires? Will it calm down my mind or disturb it more? Will it give me more peace, shanti, or would it give me more ashanti? And if the answer to any of the above question is unfavorable, must not proceed. So we have to there is a caution, I put it here, be careful. Every action has a consequences, cause and effect. We are born, we are here. We perform our daily activities based on our karma. We are the byproduct of our karma, combination of karma, cluster of karmas from previous lives, and also what karmas we do now. So every action must lead us to eternal dharma, peace and purpose of life. Not anything other than that. So know your SwaDharma, my duty. What is my duty? Because there are many duties in this world. I mean, first of all, we have a body. Bhagwanji says, first you must take care of your body. Because body is body and senses, and then you should control your senses. You should control your mind. And then it will be connected to the supreme power. But we also, as a youth, would have the responsibility, as a student has a different responsibilities. Teachers, they have responsibility toward the universities, teachers, to make sure they follow their guidelines and the rules and regulations and codes of that area where they're studying. And we have many responsibilities like family, sibling, for the family, sibling, spouses, parents, friends, etc. And then for professionals, engineers, doctors, name it. Nowadays, so many different professions. Everyone has a responsibility. As an employer, employee, how they treat each other. And then, of course, for the community, society, country, world, we all have many responsibilities. But whatever is our prescribed responsibility, our kartavya is our dharma, and that is our SwaDharma, and that's where Lord Krishna is teaching Arjuna. So my duty convert a dharma to dharma. Kurukshetra, Dharmkshetra. So, field of action must be converted into Dharmkshetra. And Swamiji always said, Swami Chidananji always said that the Kurukshetra is within us. So we must take care of that Kurukshetra. So how to convert karma into dharma? So these are the ingredients and these are the verses. I put it there together, but basically focus on work, not just on what is for me. कर्मण्य वादिका रस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतु भून माते संगोवस्तु कर्म. Not be lazy, but at the same time, don't just focus on the results. Focus on your action, your seva, your selfless. And then buddhi yukto jahatiye ubbe sukrat dushtata. Yoga karmesu koshlam. Because yoga means any action which is unites us. That is the best action. In other words, do your action and neki kar kuein mein daal. But it must be with love and compassion. And where, again, I repeat this sarva bhudit rehte many times because that is our motto. And then do your best and let go. And offer all to Supreme Power. Yat karoshi, yad asmasi, yad hosi dadasi, yat tapasvi konte. Whatever action you do, even your tapasya, your script, your practices, all should be offered to me. And that becomes karma to karma yoga, art of work. And work is our worship. And again, as I mentioned, Modi ji is the one subject is tailored over there. So Gita, based on Gita, there are 7 steps which I have mentioned that previously, but this is a summary of it, those 7 steps, and that takes us from miseries. So from Jivatma we become Dharmatma, from Dharmatma we become Mahatma, and then merge with Supreme Power, go to Param Dham, and from Tamsik, Rajasik, Satvik to Gunati. So this is the ultimate summary of Bhagavad Gita, the union with Supreme Power, where we experience Satchit Anand. And again, these are the 7 steps which I just mentioned over here. And these are the causes. But we have to live in the consciousness of peace. Do peace, live peace, think peace, hear peace, spread peace. So our practices, SwaDharma, welfare of all. So cultivate inner peace and global harmony. And that is the path to Ananda. So peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. That's what Buddha said. So our regular practices are start your day with thought of SwaDharma, with peace. Practice during the day and make sure you take care of your body and your senses through yoga, meditation, pranayam. And use your hands, head, heart, all together and offer to Supreme Power. And then reflect upon it. Am I on the right path? And after doing that, again sit down and offer to Supreme Power. Sarva dharman paritajye mamekam sharanam praj aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami ma shuchi. So in summary, karma takes us to selfless action, duty, gives us the wisdom of our SwaDharma, and we feel so self-satisfied, happy. Our heart gets filled with love and compassion, and then we feel like sharing with others. And it gives us the inner peace, the harmony. And when we spread it to others, that gives us the feeling of oneness with all. That's our true nature, Satchit Anand. And of course, that takes us beyond birth and death. So science gives us also the proofs of all these doing spiritual practices, that how our body and mind, our mind gets rewiring from depression and anxiety to peaceful mind, calmness, less free, anxiety free, because there is a scientific terms again, the prefrontal cortex, that's the front of the mind, which makes the decisions, which focuses, it gets more activated. Other words, it's more cleansed. It's just like, when the water lake is clean, then we can see the bottom of the surface, but it is turmoil, then we cannot. Similarly, the turmoil of the brain is calmed down, and one becomes actually better and better human beings because they are more connected, aligned with their dharmas, and they're more forgiving, develop divine qualities. Abhay, Satya, Sam, Sudhir, Gyan, Yoga is all given in Bhagavad Gita, which is called Devi Sampad Vimoksha. In other words, all these qualities takes us to higher level, to liberation, to our true nature. So this is also the formula for wellness, body, mind, and soul connection and benefit of enlightened person, free from desires, anger, greed, attachment, ego, fear, jealousy, fully self-satisfied and free from all. Work, but without stress, without feeling worried and pains, but does it very happily. And that person is also called Muni. Dukheshnu vignabana, sukheshu vigat sprasha, vitirag bhai krodha. He does not have a vitirag bhai krodha. Sthit dir Muni uchyate. That person is known as Muni. So homework. We must live all the time, hear peace, see peace, but we have to live like in awareness as a sakshi and ask the same question over and over. Do I have a supreme good of life? Am I aware of it? My dharma? Am I aware of my limitations, which I need to work on it? Do I know how to convert my karma into dharma? And do I work for the welfare of all? Do I live in the consciousness of peace, mindfulness of peace? And do I let go? Do I surrender after doing my best? And at the end it says, Dharmo rakshati rakshita, Dharmo hanti hata. Dharma protects those who protect it. Dharma destroys those who destroy it. So our sankalpa is being in peace and ananda and making this world a peaceful and harmonious place to live for all, today, tomorrow, and forever. And that is my dharma, my duty. My every action, karma, dharma, must lead to peace and harmony. Where Dalai Lama ji also said, we can never obtain peace in the outer world until we develop that peace within. And same Thomas Kempis also said, first keep peace with yourself, then you can also bring peace to others. So our commitment is be the peace and be the peace ambassador. Live our SwaDharma with love and courage for today's peace, tomorrow's harmony, and generation to come. And that is the motto of Path to Ananda. So grow peace within and externally. So thank you very much for joining Path to Ananda Self-Realization Series, Power of Dharma and Inner Peace and Global Harmony. So may God give us courage and wisdom follow this sankalpa and stay on that path. Thank you. Thank you very much for attending.